Be more grind, ride, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and beers building walls like pipes. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Tiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black beers bright, spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Be more new, where we breaking glass ceilings. All black every day, income healing. Donnie Glover, flip the script, let's go. Black Wall Street, roadmap, be more flow. Real talk, stock rise, dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies follow. Baltimore kings, queens, crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black beard strategists, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Be more news, success we inhaling. Victories, IRS, no detailing. Donnie Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on
GDP is $23 trillion. 23
Be more grind, ride, shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and beers building walls like pipes. Spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the.
I'd like to welcome you to the show. First name's Doni, last name's Glover, in it to win it. Talking about James Mosher baseball today. Coach Everett, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thank you, sir.
You know, this is a video show, sir. Oh, you got it on. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Where you were.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming right in on you. In fact, let me throw my James Mosher hat on here.
All right.
How are you, sir?
Coach Everett, how long have you been with James Mosher baseball?
Say it again, sir.
How long have you been with James Mosher baseball?
I've been with James Mosher baseball now for over 30 years.
God Almighty.
Oh, this might be my 30th year. My oldest son was 8 years old when he started. He's now 30, getting ready to turn 38. So it's
Wow.
a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be a part of your program.
Did you play James Mosher baseball?
Yes, sir. I played back in the 70s for the Pirates, for the great Isaiah Ike White. Yes, sir.
What kind of Cadillac did he have?
Oh man, at the time he had an Eldorado. Boy, you going back, man. You
had a rust-colored Eldo.
You talking history. He had the rust, yes, sir. The rust Eldorado with the white, might have been a half top, white half top.
And where did y'all practice?
We practiced at Easternwood High School, at Easternwood Park.
Yeah. I grew up across the street from Easternwood.
So you probably knew a few of my teammates, Tommy. I think we called him Secret. Yeah, I think he lived over there on Ruxton.
Back then, I think there's 6 years between us. 6 years was a big thing.
That's a good point. Good point. Different players, yeah.
If you were 12, I was 6.
Yeah, and interestingly, Donnie, we didn't have T-ball back then. Could you imagine if we had T-ball back then?
But no T-ball back. T-ball.
Exactly. T-ball, right.
We played baseball.
We played baseball. That's right. That was it. And strikeouts.
Let's get to this historical fact.
Yes, sir.
I've heard it explained a multiplicity of ways. Technically, some would argue that James Mosher does not play what they call Little League.
Okay.
Some would argue that because not that this is not baseball, but because of the rules.
Yes. The rules have changed.
But from a historical standpoint, I have been saying for the past 25 years that James Mosher is the oldest black baseball league for youth in the country.
And that is my understanding as well. Certainly on the East Coast, but if not in the country, you may be right. And we probably need to Google that, but yes, that is true. That is what it said. Now, I just wanted to ask you, when you said they say that we don't play Little League, is it because of our new rules on the game itself, in terms of not taking the lead and tagging up? Or
yeah, because when we played, we took the lead. We played in Major League Baseball.
That's correct. We did. And
we had a pop-up fly rule.
Yep. Every rule that baseball had, we did at that time.
They didn't coddle us.
That's correct. And Donnie, we talk about this all the time. Some of these kids, the only time that they play baseball is when they're up there with us. And
no, we played strikeout.
We did.
Oh my God,
we played strikeouts, pickup. You name it.
If you was counting just on your time at James Mosher, you missed the whole boat.
You missed it.
No, we live baseball.
Right. And that, I think that plays a part in it, because again, we played, for us taking a lead, and imagine, how many runs was scored when we played on a two-strike, on a third strike pass ball, and the catcher's got to get that ball and throw him out, versus now, you strike out, the ball can get past the catcher. Oh, well, we didn't let the ball get past us. That was just not
highly competitive.
That's right.
I know in East Baltimore, they got McKim's for wrestling, and they got Lafayette, Madison. They're well known for basketball.
Right.
For baseball,
yes.
With all due respect to Muggs, Reginald, Reggie Williams, and the legends, Kosher, Skip Wise, they had basketball on lock. When it came to baseball,
it was us.
I don't know who could hang with James Mosher. Not from our community. But we be smart boys too.
Yeah, but even today, Donnie, our travel team plays traditional baseball rules, and so our coach for the travel team, we compete, and we have won some of the tournaments with the big boys. So they do. We've had some tough teams. Even to this day, James Mosher is still ranked and well known. And there are a lot of teams that don't want to see us. Now, we do get beat sometimes, but there's some teams that don't want to see James Mosher baseball.
I love listening to you and the other brothers who got me by a couple of years to hear those stories. Doc Cheatham would tell a mean story, man.
Yeah.
Doc Cheatham, it's hard to believe some of the stuff he say, but Doc Cheatham says, he has said on his show that he struck out, who did he tell me? Doc Cheatham told me he struck out Reggie Jackson.
Hey, well, if he did, I got to say, whoo. He better be glad he didn't catch him when he was playing for the Yankees with that skill set. But that's great that he would have played during that time. He may have played with former Mayor Kurt Schmoke. Maybe. I don't know if he's older. I know he's older than us, but he may have come along during that time, because Kurt Schmoke played up there.
Elijah Cummings played up there.
Okay, I didn't realize he had played up there. But we've had some great men. And great people, I should say. Nowadays, great people. We've got some fantastic young ladies that have come out of James Mosher as well. But some great talent and have become productive citizens. And that's one of the things about James Mosher. Going back to one of the historians, the great Al Meacham Sr., the one thing I can remember, Mr. Meacham used to say to me, baseball and Little League, the James Mosher program, was not just about wins and losses with baseball. It was about preparing the young men and young women for the world. for leadership, for sportsmanship, for teamwork, and to prepare them and to give them an outlet, something other than what they were exposed to in our communities. And so I always remember and enjoyed talking to Mr. Meacham. And, you know, I think you mentioned another coach. We talked about Mr. White. You know, you go back to Mr. Barrett. There were so many great mentors we had. Mr. Harrod, still up there. Mr. Neal, the president, and what's the other guy? Oh man, he's gonna be mad if I'm yeah, I'm looking right at his face. Some of the, you know, is we call him Silver, but the athletics.
Mr. Silver. Mr. Silver's been a coach. You know, I gotta say this with all due respect. I was just having a conversation earlier this morning, and this was about politics.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was talking with someone about the 41st district. You know, yes. They now have a Jewish state senator. Hey, Doc Burnett, I sent you the link, so you can stop all of them comments. You're going to come on this day. Doc Burnett, we calling you out. You're going to put a plug in for Liberty Road Baseball. Doc, click the link and stop playing. But we were talking about politics, and I asked him, who dropped the ball in the 41st district? But the bigger question was, are we in our Black organizations, sororities, fraternities,
yes,
National Urban League, National Action Network, NAACP, are we, Morgan State?
Yes.
Are we in our Black institutions passing the ball?
Okay.
And a brother more your age said that our journey is different than white people.
Okay.
And he was suggesting that we get the ball later, where they get the ball earlier.
That's true.
In whatever discipline, baseball, politics, what have you.
The resources are also different.
The resources are different. And by the time we get the ball, we want to hold on to it too long for whatever reason.
Sure.
Pass the damn ball, man. You've been coaching since I was a little boy.
It's time to move. Yes. New leadership.
Doug, I posted it right here on this page. So you're on LinkedIn. I didn't put it on the link. Yeah, I did. It's on the, it didn't go on the LinkedIn page, Doug. Let me try it again. It won't let me share it. I'll just email it to you, Doc. But go ahead, Everett. You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I do know that when you look at the resources we have up there, and it's getting better. As you talk about other groups of people. You know, we don't have access to the indoor facilities or year-round weather where we can practice year-round. Could you imagine if the talent that we have right now that comes out of our program that plays baseball maybe 2 months out of the year? Could you imagine if they had access 10 months out of the year? Indoor.
Doug, check your email.
You know, if we had access.
You know what? Mr. Everett, come on now. That sounds like an excuse.
Oh, no, I agree to that. Yeah, I agree. But
somebody,
but right, we should have more. I mean, right, I'm talking about right on the facility. Yeah, we could go down to, there's a place down there. Man,
we got a Black governor, a Black attorney general, Black mayor, Black this, Black that. If we don't have it, it's our own damn fault.
Oh, I agree. Now, I agree with that. I do agree.
And I'm all for taking philanthropic dollars.
Yep.
But do we really need Cal Ripken to do for us what we can do for ourselves?
That's right. Do for self or suffer the consequences.
Do we? I mean, those people like Mr. Meacham, Mr. Simmons, were they waiting on some white boys to give them some money?
They did it. Right. They did it on their own. That's right. You going back to Mr. Simmons. Yes.
Now, this is baseball, so I got a right to throw a knuckleball. I think that field should be named. Allen Meacham Field.
Yeah. Yeah. We had enough great mentors.
He playing dirty. He playing dirty. I gotta go get my.
He's on mute.
Mr. Everett, you ain't gonna take over the show all this time. What happened to you, Dirk? Are you there, Mr. Everett? Dirk, are you there? Man, what happened? Are you there? Let me check my audio. Can you hear me okay? Testing, testing, 1, 2. Hey, Donnie, take me off mute. I don't have you on mute. You'll come on the show. Let's try him again. How you doing?
Testing.
Got you loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, I think we lost. I lost both of you guys at one point, but
No, we were there. I went to get a hat.
oh, that's okay. I went off and came back on. No problem. I wasn't sure. I did see.
There you go.
He
Burnett.
He said you need to unmute him. I think he needs to.
I never muted him.
Yeah, it's
See,
on
that's
him.
what when you come on the James Mosher show talking smack with that county
That's
stuff.
right. Derek, you have to go in from the beginning when we came in. You had to allow access for your mic. So you had a prompt from the beginning.
Know, he been on this show before. See, that's that Baltimore County politics. Derek, we can't hear you, Derek. We're gonna work with it. We want to help out our county brothers. You know they're a little.
Yeah. He should sign off and sign back on. He needs to go off and back and start over.
Yeah, you know our county brothers.
He put a note in here and said they looked forward to playing James Mosher. Liberty Road always looked forward to playing James Mosher.
And get their butts whipped.
Yeah, that is true.
Hey man, I don't know what kind of cheap phone y'all got out there. One of them Baltimore County Boost mobile stores or something. Yeah, we hear you loud and clear talking smack. What'd you say? I didn't know James Mosher played Liberty Road.
Oh, yeah, travel team. Yeah, the travel team, yeah.
What'd you say, Dirk?
What's that? I said that's a part of my nature to talk smack. I'm from Baltimore, don't you know?
Are you really from Baltimore?
We still will talk smack. I'm from Baltimore County.
Oh, that ain't Baltimore.
That's right.
That ain't Baltimore. You in the county. You just said it. I didn't know they had black people out there in the county back then.
You know what? I hear that.
I didn't even know they had. I mean, I know Benjamin Banneker was from there, but I thought he was the last black out there in Liberty Road.
You know what they tried, Don? You know, we used to do that on the basketball court too.
Oh my God.
We should say 5 new and a better crew. Send them back down to him.
Now, you know that don't even sound right.
I know you can't believe it, but it's a fact.
I cannot believe it.
You ask anybody about Woodmore.
Woodmore? Did they even let blacks out there?
I used to play out Woodmore.
We ran Woodmore. We played basketball under the lights till 11 o'clock every night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Y'all did have lights. Tell them black people said they.
That's what happened when you moved the ball in the county.
Slow down, slow down. Tell the truth for Shane the Devil. Baltimore County took them damn basketball hoops down too.
Yeah, they sure did.
Them upwardly mobile black people got a little bougie.
I had to fight the community about that shiggity, man.
Hey, look, hey Donnie, they took them down because the guys like us from Baltimore City started going out there. That's why they took them down.
No, we used to invite y'all out there. We loved y'all coming out there.
Yeah.
Respect y'all, man.
Look at all them county championships Milford Mill won. Let's get back to baseball, baby.
We know you like baseball, Derek.
Oh man, I love baseball.
You've been coaching quite a long time. Derek, why don't we pass the ball in our black organizations? You're a Hampton grad.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna give it to you straight up. You only pass the ball to those that you think can carry.
No, pass the damn ball. You done had the ball for 40 years. Derek, Al Sharpton.
These coaches today don't know the fundamentals, Donnie. I shake my head, man.
Yeah.
I get coaches clinics out here.
How come they don't know the fundamentals?
Because they never played themselves.
Yeah.
How can you coach something you never played?
Because
need-
it's not on the team.
They need some warm body. Hey, Donnie, we see a lot of these guys, these younger coaches that never played the game today. Yeah.
I learned more from the age of 7 to 10. I learned more riding the bench
Mm-hmm.
in those 3 years than some of these cats learn in a lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because on the bench, you learn one thing. You don't want to ride the bench. You want more than them 2 innings. You
That's
want
right.
to do more than bunt. Because then you done bunted 100 times.
Yeah.
And you're only getting 2 innings.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you learn on that bench. You learn what not to do. And you watch people better than you.
Sure. And you're at practice. You know, you're getting your practice in. The practice was the most important part for you if you was a new player.
We had to go up Douglas. I lived in Easterwood, but I had to go all the way up to Douglas.
Okay.
And I'll never forget when them cats from Thomas Avenue robbed me of my glove and my cleats.
Yeah. Yeah, Thomas Avenue was a tough little neighborhood back then.
It was about 700 of them sons of guns came across the plateau. Descended on me, just little old me.
Man.
This man stopped and tried to help me get back my glove. I don't know what happened. Little plastic glove, too. I ain't even have a real leather, but I tell you.
Yeah.
We used to play
none of us had
strike
real
up.
gloves back then, or none of us had brand new gloves, I should say. Everybody had a hand-me-down glove back then.
And our fathers played some kind of baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to understand, Donnie. I originally wasn't born here in Baltimore. My father was military, so this was his last base at Fort Hollenberg. And we moved here from Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was a big Cincinnati Reds fan. We moved here the same year the Reds played the Orioles in the World Series.
Was Joe Morgan playing for him?
With Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, Dave Concepcion, Johnny Bench.
That was a mean team.
They had a good team back then.
That was a mean team.
Baby, the big red machine.
Joe Morgan and Johnny Bench, man, that was
Johnny Bench
back then.
was a beast.
He was.
Johnny Bench was a beast. And then I watched Brooks Robinson steal our World Series from us.
I'm sorry. Did you say steal?
Hey, Donnie.
I've never heard that word associated with the Brooks. I've never heard that word.
Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek. Back then, back then, the Orioles had 4 20-game winners. Back in those days, the Orioles was
I respected them.
We had 4 20 winners.
Yeah, y'all had McNally, Palmer. Let me see, who were the other 2?
Cuellar.
Cuellar.
McNally. Did you say McNally?
Dave McNally.
McNally, Cuellar, Palmer,
Jim Palmer,
and the fourth one is escaping me. And we're not even going to talk about the bats they had. Boone Powell, Frank Robinson. You know, we had what?
I know about Frank Robinson. Y'all got Frank Robinson from Cincinnati. Come on,
That was your fault. That was your fault.
and we almost lost him because Baltimore suffered from segregation.
Yep.
No doubt.
And he couldn't find housing.
Ain't that something?
Frank was on his way to the airport.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm a Yankees fan today, because the Orioles let Reggie Jackson slip through his hands. He goes to New York and becomes Mr. October. That's why you see me wearing Yankees gear. Because the Orioles didn't treat him right. And he said, if your girl start acting up, then you take her friend.
Look, they let wait a minute, they let Don Baylor go too. Wasn't it Don Baylor?
Don Baylor played right field.
Yeah, but I'm saying they let him go too. They had a lot of players they let go. They should have kept.
Man, I was never an Oriole fan. I used to go to Orioles.
Oh. I can talk bad about the Orioles. You from Ohio. You don't get that right, Slim.
Come on, baby. I'm a baseball fan. Anytime y'all still got to let them play, thank God I'm a country boy in the 7-minute stretch. It's an issue.
I can't argue that. I can only tell you the stadium was over there on 33rd Street.
Yeah.
And we were too far away from the black community to talk any SHIT over there.
Right.
I can tell you, I never remember there being any fights.
I was going to say, I used to go over there on the bus all the time to the games. We never had I used to work at Memorial Stadium as a vendor. So we never had no problems going over there. Like you said, never no fights. Never know, and that was back in the 70s. For me,
I went to a mini junior Oriole game over there. My dad used to joke, Everett, he'd say, I don't know if you remember this commercial. I bet you do, though. He said, Junior Orioles say, you sure do get a lot of stuff.
I can't remember.
If you sign up for the Junior Oriole package.
I remember that program, though.
Yeah, if you sign up for the Junior Oriole stuff, you got, some tickets and to some of the special nights. I remember when they came out with the Brooks Robinson number 5 jersey. The black and orange. Everybody in Baltimore had one of them jerseys.
Brooks was an icon. It still is. But he was not, man. You could do no wrong.
A nice person, too.
He was. Very nice.
He showed, just like Muhammad Ali, you can be great and still be kind and humble to people.
He was. I got a picture with him. He was a nice guy. At his he was at the last Ripken thing the year before, maybe a year or two before he passed, and I was able to talk to him and sat there and had a nice conversation. And just like you said, he was hands on. Good guy.
What happened to baseball in the black community? How come it died?
I will say the one thing, unfortunately, is that if you look at the popularity of football and basketball as an appeal to our young people, um, and the lack thereof of black stars in baseball, as we talk about the Frank Robinsons and the Reggie Jacksons. Um, I think that's probably what, let's face it. You go in high school, you know, if you look at a football game, a basketball game, and a baseball game, there's nobody coming to the baseball game. It's near the end of the season, and fall ball is not that popular. So the popularity for our young people, and we also right now, even now, have to compete with summer basketball, summer football, spring football. And,
Everett, I'm going to dismiss that as hogwash.
okay.
I'm going to say it's because during the summertime, the major league players, the Negro League players went down to South America and the Caribbean
Mm-hmm.
and trained our black Latino brothers how to play ball.
Okay.
And they came back and took over the industry.
Yeah, but I will tell you, as a coach, I can remember, competing with my players, having to try to convince their parents why they need to come to baseball until July, and some of them would say, well, if they don't go to football practice, they won't have a spot. And literally, I had one of 2 years in a row, my catcher didn't show up for championship games in the playoffs because that was the start of football season. And we would lose some of our players. Now, Donnie, when we grew up, you had baseball season, you had football season, and you had basketball. The only thing you competed with, BNBL basketball, was a summer league. But normally back then, if you was playing baseball, I don't remember ever there being an issue if a coach knew you was playing two sports. Right now, we compete with football at the youth level. So I agree with you about at the professional level, but at the youth level, you have so many options with these kids, and football has just taken over in terms of the interest for these.
Well, let's be honest, gentlemen. Baseball is a cerebral sport.
Mm-hmm.
No slight to football or basketball, but baseball is a cerebral sport.
Okay.
Now we in our community, to get on television with the famous dunk or to run a touchdown, that's more exciting.
Sure.
To just sports fans, because baseball is a slow sport.
It is, but you got to understand,
it's cerebral.
It is. You make more money.
And it's a slow sport, and the players tend to last longer.
Yeah.
Satchel Paige played well into his 50s, 60s.
Yeah, he was exceptional. But if
these cats ain't playing past 30.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not football and basketball.
That's right.
But it's a cerebral sport, and it stopped being popular in the black community. We played catch with our fathers.
Yep, we did.
You don't see people playing catch with their sons these days.
Yep, that's true. So what do you think is the reason?
It stopped being sexy in the community.
Yeah.
Baseball, less injuries.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Football, one injury and it's over. Basketball, one injury, it's over.
And as you just said, in baseball, your contract is guaranteed. So your money's guaranteed. And I agree. I mean, we need to revitalize baseball because and although for people like us, we know that it's exciting because any one pitch can change the game. It's a one pitch change the game versus it is slow, but every pitch, especially when you get into the playoffs, it's even more dynamic. And you know, again, because we understand the game, but getting the general public to see the appeal. Now, do you know down in the Latin countries,
They
they
play year round.
got it in between the innings. It's a party, and even when you talk about the Negro Baseball League, they used to dress up to go to the baseball games. I mean, it was the place to be. And
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
And we had control over the money.
Yeah.
Do you remember in Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars?
Hey.
Richard Pryor said when the young man got the contract to the big team,
right,
he was like, this is the end of the Negro Leagues.
Yeah.
We benefited from segregation.
Sure.
We did, no doubt.
We were self-sufficient.
And they packed their state. But that's why they
took it over.
That's why they wanted them to start coming in to the major leagues, because they saw the attendance at the Negro League games versus their stadiums at that time.
Plus, they had lost a lot of players into World War II, and a lot of fans in the World War II, and we helped subsidize their attendance.
Yeah,
and we made some money. We didn't make all the money. When I say we, I'm talking about the Negro League.
Sure.
We used to make, I think, the concessions, and then we still had to rent stadiums from them. They didn't allow us to use their stadiums for free.
Well, we
had to rent them stadiums.
We had packed crowds.
And we had packed crowds, no doubt.
Yep.
And
Shout
they
out
would go to the game after Sunday. Rube Foster, no doubt.
Yeah.
The Chicago Giants. That's one thing Liberty Road did. I'm on the board for Liberty Road. That's one thing we implemented over 20 years ago. All of our in-house league teams were named after Negro League baseball teams.
Okay.
We did that on purpose because we was trying to, what I call, educate our students and our kids about our cultural consciousness.
Baseball is a cerebral sport.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Did you tell them about the black man who sued American baseball and won?
Oh yeah, yeah, Lou Brock.
Lou Brock, okay.
No doubt. We did all that kind of educational stuff, man. We even sang the Negro National Anthem before our games. So I don't know what y'all doing. That's how we rock and roll.
I do coach the Black Sox right now for our T-ball league. So we do have the Negro League teams for our little kids, you know.
That's right.
That's good history that you're sharing there. In fact, one of our coaches,
his name was not Lou Brock. You've shared misinformation on this show. He did play for the St. Louis Cardinals, but his name wasn't no damn Lou Brock.
Lou Brock. Okay, let me think.
Get your history together, Hampton. See, you're dealing with a Morehouse man.
Let me think. Oh man, a Morehouse man with a Google.
But we also had a Negro player up at
his name was Kurt Flood.
Kurt Flood. There you go. Kurt Flood.
This man sued American baseball because he felt being traded was like being a slave.
Okay.
Now the significance is how much of his life he risked. He was a derelict over in Europe. While this lawsuit was going on, he sued American baseball and won.
Wow.
And the year that they won, the NFL followed the next year with free agency.
Okay.
Yeah, he started free agency.
It was some other people that helped him. But Kurt Flood, one of the baddest players of his time,
yes, he was.
Said he did not like being traded. It felt like he was a slave.
Wow.
He was right.
And look at what
he turned into an alcoholic behind that too. It really affected him.
He was a derelict, but he came back, he cleaned up, and he went on with the lawsuit.
Okay.
Right. It was sad, man, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, baseball, I call baseball, it's a country club sport now, man.
Oh, yeah.
You got to afford to be
they don't want black people to get in there because we take it over, brother.
Well, I know that still, but it's still a country club sport at the lowest level.
Right.
To be able to play at a high level, most of these kids now got hitting coaches, pitching coaches.
That's what
they
earlier
buying $300 bats,
right.
$100 gloves, $150 Nike Jordan cleats.
And it's
I
not
didn't know these $300 bats only have a limited number of hits in them.
They do. You exactly right.
Another $300 bat.
And
See,
then
they priced us up the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cheap when you talk about the coaches that they have, because I know I would take my kids down when I was coaching the 9 and 12s. I'd take them to the batting cage, and we'd look over, and there would be a coach with one parent sitting there, and that's
right.
Would have just an hour of instruction every
one-on-one. That's right.
For an hour. The pitching coaches, and like you said, I don't know what they charge by the hour, but it wasn't me.
I do. It's about $45-50 an hour, man.
But versus
they priced us out the game because we dominate any sport we get into, including hockey.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I said. Imagine if we had the same level playing field as these other.
Who do you think invented skating backwards?
Oh, well, hey, come on, Donnie. Like you say, every black person that played hockey, the only obstacle they had to face was the racism of being treated, unfair, and all the extra bangs that they would get. But talent-wise, I used to go down to the hockey games at the Civic Center. I worked at the Civic Center at 14 years old when we had the Clippers and the Bullets down there. I was a vendor. And they used to let people ice skate afterwards. There was a guy that worked down there, his son. And when we was young, man, he was one of the baddest little skaters out there on the field. But again, I never had ice skates, so we was roller skaters. So
yeah, I learned how to ice skate in Maine.
I'm gonna do a shout out to the Davis brothers, to Howard Fields, Brian Easley.
Oh yeah, I know them names.
Yeah.
Man, when the Davis brothers got up the bat, you knew the ball was going out the park. Eric, Kevin, and Kenny, the youngest. Kenny was a southpaw, and he had the prettiest swing, man, as a lefty. And that ball was going straight over that fence.
Right, okay.
Some of them look like grown men down there. I think some of them might have been 18 and 19 playing Little League baseball.
But you see, Donnie, that was a family affair, man. That's when they changed baseball around. When the freaking Pittsburgh Pirates run the World Series with mostly African Americans and Hispanics.
Was Willie Stargell playing?
Willie Stargell was playing.
Like that when they beat the Orioles. I was in the Air Force.
Roberto Clemente.
Back in 1979.
Clemente, they was like, we ain't never gonna let this happen again.
Man.
Right. It was mostly all African Americans and Hispanics on the same team.
Roberto Clemente, the legend.
They had a crew, man.
Yeah, I remember I was watching the game in California, man. We was losing, and some station in the day room. I was like, don't change that station. That game ain't over yet. The game is over. Man, we got into a scuffle over that. I was mad.
And the Staples sisters had their theme song, We Are Family.
We are family. Of course, I wasn't a fan of any of that at the time because I was an Oriole fan. But reflecting back on it, you got to respect the Pirates at that time with the players that they had. They definitely did have an abundance of players of color. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. That's where I think Everett, the Orioles totally lose. We got ain't no African Americans. There was a time we had Al Bunbury, Paul Blair, Ken Smith,
right.
Lee May.
That's when the Orioles was good.
And that's why they not good.
That's why they ain't good.
They have one.
That's that Southern mentality.
Yeah. Yes. Just like University of Maryland. Right. Did the girl Angel Reese play for University of Maryland first?
Yep.
Oh, no doubt. She had to go. I had a kid that we coached.
Bob Wade went down there at University of Maryland. They treated him greasy.
Yeah.
We had a
different kind of African American. You got to go down. You got to be able to navigate in a certain vernacular. And if you don't like that, then hey, you're gonna have to find somewhere else to play.
Yeah,
Well,
unfortunate.
I tell you what, University of Maryland missed out on one of the greatest athletes of all time from the Liberty Road baseball program, Mr. Brian Jordan. Brian Jordan had an opportunity to play baseball at University
Yeah,
of Maryland,
yeah,
but
that's
he turned it down because Bobby Ross, the football coach, didn't want Brian to play baseball in the spring. So Brian went to University of Richmond instead and ended up becoming an All-American and one of only 3 African Americans to play 2 professional sports.
Yeah, two sports.
He played safety with Deion Sanders with the Atlanta Falcons, and he
Yep.
played on 4 Major League Baseball teams.
Now, he was friends with Keon Carpenter, right?
Yeah, well, Keon Carpenter went to Woodlawn. He was before Keon Carpenter. But Brian went to Milford Mill. Brian went to Milford Mill.
Hey, Donnie, do you know you guys know Reggie Jordan, Reginald Jordan? That's his uncle. Yeah, he I went to school with his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, Brian's people was from Turner Station. His father was from Turner Station.
Well, his uncle lived right over here on Loretta Avenue. His uncle and 2 of his cousins grew up right over there on Loretta Avenue, 2700 block. But yeah, he may have been from that side of town, which saved him because he didn't come. That's Baltimore.
Yeah. Brian lived in the county, grew up in the county, and your great brother, man. He still comes back to Liberty Road today. Matter of fact, he came back.
Have a parade out Liberty Road.
We were supposed to every year. We were supposed to have it this year, but it got rained out. What about y'all? Did y'all have one?
Our parade?
Yeah,
this Saturday.
Wow. See, we had one scheduled for I think it was 2 Saturdays ago.
Can touch James Mosher's parade.
No, it can't. I've actually walked in James Mosher's parade, so no, it can't. Matter of fact, our parade is it ain't even a mile long.
The James Mosher parade used to be the biggest parade in West Baltimore.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I've been in there. I've represented the Negro League Museum in the James Mosher parade.
Okay. So then you remember.
I know all about it.
You remember Bert Simmons?
Oh yeah, come on now. Bert Simmons was a part of is the whole reason the museum exists out in Owens Mills.
He was a coach. He was one of our coaches up at James Mosher when I was growing up. Mr. Bert Simmons.
Who would sit up there on the steps on Lafayette Avenue, Everett? Was his name Mr. Mosher? What's the not Mr. Mosher? Short brown skinned man, one of the old timers.
Yeah. You're talking about I know who you're talking about. Oh man. Why is his name escaping me? That's bad.
But he's back there with Mr. Meacham's crew.
Lived on Lafayette Avenue?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm looking right at
Turner, Mr. Turner.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Turner. Yeah.
Hey, bruh, it was the greatest joy when you look back to know that you were a part of such history.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you find out people before you played at James Mosher.
Oh, yeah.
Mind you, Doug, this is West Baltimore, and James Mosher brought together several communities.
Yeah.
I believe that. I know one of my Hamptons.
You would get beat up if you go down Loretta Avenue. You ain't know what you was doing. Emerson Avenue is one thing. Loretta, you done stepped all the way into a neck of the woods. You don't know nobody. You better know somebody down Loretta Avenue. That's like going to Cherry Hill.
That's right.
Yeah, one of my Hampton fellow classmate, not a classmate, but he went to Hampton, Tay Thompson. I know y'all know Tay. Tay was a big time James Mosher baseball player. Matter of fact, he played on the last baseball team that Hampton had. Okay. And they won the MEAC that year.
Yeah. Well, Everett, I'm gonna share some James Mosher history. I played for the Mets when they first came in the league in '74.
I remember the Mets.
We had a losing season the first year.
Just like the Mets.
And the second season wasn't much better. But the third year, we won the championship at James Mosher Baseball. James Divers pitching, Clero, Myers at shortstop, Greg White at third base.
We had
some of the best. We had the best players. And I actually transitioned from bunting to getting a couple of swings that third year. But the fourth year, I was swinging.
That's great. That's great stuff, Donnie. That's great stuff.
So,
But you had to ride that bench. You had to get the splinters. You had to learn the song. Everett, give me one of the songs y'all sang. I'm gonna take you back.
talking about the here we go, Oreos, here we go.
Here we go, Oreos.
That's the easy one.
It's on.
Oh man, I remember in Liberty Road, we was playing this team from Ricerstown, and I had my boys on the bench singing Riley, the pitcher name is Sally. Woo, 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 woo. Riley, the pitcher name is Sally. Look, this European couldn't take it. He turned around and threw the ball at our backstop, man.
Oh, man.
Shut up. Shut up. He told our team to shut. He threw the ball up against the backstop. You know he had the fence in front of the bench, right? He threw the ball up against the fence.
Crazy.
And his father was the coach. So I went to the umpire. I said, my man, you gonna let him stay in the game?
Right.
He's supposed to be gone.
Exactly.
Hypnotize and boomerize and knock him off the mound. You remember that? We got the fever. We hot. We can't be stopped.
Oh, I remember all that, yo. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing that tradition does continue with some teams, and you can't rattle the pitcher.
We was shaking him up, yo.
Oh yeah. And another thing, you guys was talking about the Negro League. Do you know she continued to come up? Leon Day's wife continued to come up and support, exposure baseball and any of the things that we have. And I forget the brother's name you mentioned with Mr. Simmons, but the brother that also runs the Negro Baseball League, he always comes up as well. I'll know his name if you say it. Short brother.
Yeah, no doubt. I just seen him like 3 weeks ago because
I always
Mr. Simmons' wife just died. She died about 3 weeks ago, man. And they getting ready to put together a program. I don't think I should be announcing it, but I hear they're gonna put together a program for her and Mamie Johnson. Mamie Johnson played for the Indiana Clowns, and she recently died too. So they're trying to put together a program. So keep your ears to the ground.
I give you the blues, Derek, when it comes to James Mosher, but let's just say publicly, thank you for keeping baseball alive out in Baltimore County.
Hey, man,
thank you for keeping, because when you think about it, Everett, blacks have been migrating out Liberty Road.
Yeah.
And we had to reestablish ourselves out there politically, church-wise, baseball-wise, business-wise.
So true.
Just because you moved to the county and you got lawns, honey rabbits, deers, and foxes don't mean that the fight is over. So shout out to, what was that lady name? Who was that first political person out there?
Political person. Dang, I gotta see her face, man. She lived in Stevenswood.
Aaron Barnett's godmother.
Oh, man.
Ella White Campbell.
Shame on
you.
No doubt, man.
Where you from? Ohio?
Ella White Campbell, man. No, man. I knew Ella White. I knew Ella White very well.
Ella White Campbell was like Victorine Adams out there.
Yes, she was, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Dolores Kelly ain't no punk.
Ain't that something?
No, yeah, she was tough too. Matter of fact, Dolores Kelly's still tough. Don't get it twisted.
You got that.
she may not be in the limelight, but I bet you she pulling strings.
She wouldn't have dropped that ball when it come to that Senate race.
She pulling strings from behind. I know that.
She wouldn't have dropped that ball in that Senate race.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. But it's tough, man.
Now come to that parade, Everett.
Say it again.
Every politician in town that worth their salt come to that James Mosher parade. If they don't come to the James Mosher parade, you should definitely not vote for them.
Oh, they do come. But one thing.
History together, Hampton. See, you're dealing with a Morehouse man.
Let me think. Oh man, a Morehouse man. A Morehouse man with a Google.
I don't know what happened, man. But look, I'm trying to.
You got a replay going on.
Hey,
but you really
we also had a Negro player up
let me
back in, Doc.
Hey, Donnie.
Yeah.
I was just going to tell you, I've got a 10 o'clock meeting coming up, but I do
All right.
want to
Well,
say,
thank you for joining us. Plug the parade one more
I
time.
was going to say, I do want to invite everyone that if you aren't doing anything, as you've heard, one of the greatest in the city of Baltimore parades and opening day celebrations in West Baltimore will happen this Saturday, April 26th, starting down at Edmondson and Evergreen at we call it Evergreen Park, but I think it's Helen McMeekin Park or Helen Meckel. It's going to be Saturday starting at about 12:30, and it will go up Edmondson Avenue, up Bentlow Street to Lafayette, up Lafayette to Warwick Avenue, up to the James Mosher baseball field, which is on the backside of Billie Holiday Elementary School. We certainly want to welcome everyone to come up and be a part of the grand opening celebration. And Donnie, I know you will be there. And one thing I'll say, you said about baseball, we have a lot of politicians that throw out an opening day pitch. I will say why it's important for young people to learn how to play baseball. We have seen a lot of grown men who cannot throw a baseball. You know who played as a kid and who didn't, because when you see some of these guys, some of them are athletes that cannot throw a baseball. Get your kids involved in baseball young. It'll help them with everything else they do in life.
Oh, no doubt.
And so it's a pleasure talking with you guys. I've got a 10 o'clock meeting coming up.
Hold up, John. But give me the time on that again. What's the time?
April 26th, this Saturday. It will start about 12:30.
From where again?
It will start.
Come on, man. You don't know where it started at, man?
Edmondson Avenue in Bradish.
Okay, I got you.
See, that's down the street from Poplar Grove. Down the street from Calvin.
Come on, man. I know, man. I used to play basketball.
They had welcoming parties around there back in the day. Them cats come out with baseball bats.
Let me ask you one thing before you go. Let me ask you one thing. What do y'all think the NIL is going to do to college baseball? They only give out 11.5 college scholarships on baseball teams. You don't hear a lot about it,
but I wish it could.
That's a whole nother conversation, Doni. I'm letting you know.
We have talked about NIL. There was a lawsuit for Division I school athletes who played, and we have to do a show on that, Doug, to do an update.
We do.
Yeah.
Everett, I know you got to run. Thank you for joining us.
I see you Saturday,
you want to put a plug in? When does Liberty Road baseball start?
They already started. Today is probably their first game. They start practicing today.
Oh, they just started practicing?
They just started practicing. Because, you know,
my nephew played Liberty Road baseball. I peeped it back in the early 70s. I was like, this ain't James Mosher.
Right. Well, back in the early 70s, it probably wasn't. You know, but now, you know, we got a lot of kids, man. You have almost 300 kids out there.
I'm tough on Baltimore County. Baltimore County like our little brother.
Well, I ain't gonna argue that, but I wish we can combine both things, but that ain't gonna never happen, man. The county and the city ain't gonna.
Of course it can. And the way it's going, we need to. You got Liberty Road baseball, Forest Park baseball. You got Northwood.
Forest Park, are they still in existence? I think they gone.
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, well.
Do you remember the Rebel Yell or something? Rebel. There's some white boys out like Eastern Avenue.
Oh, yeah. I remember them, man. Come on now.
I had never played against white boys before we started going out there.
Yeah, man. We pulled our boots up when we played against them. We definitely used to go after them. The Yankee Rebels. That's what you talking about.
Yankee Rebels.
The Yankee Rebels. Oh yeah, no doubt.
And we had no idea that we were in the middle of some racial dynamics.
Oh, big time. But what's crazy, the head coach from Copper State University used to play at the Yankee Rebels. That back in the day, they used to say, if you play on that team, you pretty much made it. You one of the best in the metropolitan area. But that wasn't always the truth, though.
No.
You know, it was all about politics.
They did have the money, the resource, the organization.
Right.
It's a shame how baseball died in the black community.
Well, baseball been dead in the black community, from my perspective, for about 3 generations, man. And I say that because, you know, look, I'm at the age I could actually be a grandfather, but I'm not. So my generation, my son's generation, and this generation coming up behind him, and the generation before me, you know, like you said, Donnie, we used to play catch with your uncle, your grandfather, Man, you got moms out there trying to play catch. Now, ain't nothing wrong with moms trying to play catch, but that was something that was passed down from family to family, man, generation to generation.
Single mother households.
Yeah, they sending their kids out there pretty much. You know, I got to the point where I stopped coaching because I felt like I was a glorified babysitter. They wasn't trying to really help the kid learn the game. They were just putting them into something so they can go run around, get their hair done, and get their nails done.
I remember my first year in the league, big boy was playing third base named Freddie. Now, I ended up playing third a couple years later, but he was a big guy. And the coach always told you the fundamentals. Yo, hold that glove. You're playing third base. So you got to be aggressive. Anyway, Freddie got hit in the nose, got a busted nose.
That's why they call third base the hot corner.
But it was a lesson I learned.
You can't be asleep over there.
You can't be asleep, and you got to have your glove ready, and you won't get a busted nose. That was like the one time I saw blood on the field, but he took his eye off the ball. And it's a lesson for life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Baseball like playing chess, man. You got to think 2 or 3 steps ahead. You can't be reactive in baseball. Baseball ain't checkers. If you reactive in baseball, you already lost. If you gonna wait to move when the ball is hit, you ain't never gonna catch it. You got to know where it's going and how to get there, and know what you're gonna do once you do catch it. You gotta hit the transition man. The man from the transition man gotta make the throw to the plate. That's why they time baseball, man. Any kid that can run baseball, and I'm gonna speak on this specifically because I know if you could run under 7 seconds, the 60-yard dash, you're gonna get drafted. We had a kid out here named Troy Stokes, and I know you know Troy Stokes. Played in the minor league for about 8 years. He was from Woodlawn. He went to Calvert Hall, got drafted right out of high school. Troy ran a 6'6", 60, got drafted right out of high school. And why that time is so important, the time it takes to run from second base to home plate is 7 seconds. If you can get from second to home in under 7 seconds, you Major League Baseball material. That means you can score runs.
A plug in heaven to Joe Mans.
Oh, no doubt.
Joe Mans, the only one from Baltimore County ever talked smack about a Baltimore County team beating somebody in the city.
Well, no, he ain't the only one. He the only one you ran into.
I swear he was speaking blasphemy. But Joe Mans loved Woodlawn.
Come on, man. I went to Woodlawn too, baby. Look. I went to Woodlawn too, baby. It's in my heart. It's in my blood. Come on.
If he told me that story once, he told me 1,000 times. They beat Dunbar. You know, when y'all beat Dunbar, it's like, wow, y'all won the World Series.
Hey, well, that's how y'all carried it, though. That's how y'all carried it.
Y'all know who number one.
You know, that's how y'all carried it.
Doug, I appreciate all you have done.
Come on, man.
For us and keeping our legacy alive. Who you got on that jersey?
Oh, man, this is a Negro League All-Star jersey. I got the Philadelphia Stars. I got the New York Cubans. I got the Detroit Stars. I got the Newark Eagles. I got the Black Yankees.
Kansas City Monarchs.
Kansas City Monarchs.
What teams were from Baltimore?
I got the Eli Giants and the Baltimore Black Sox.
Baltimore Black Sox. Know your history.
Got to know your history.
Before we get out of here, Dirk.
Man, we got to be more culturally conscious and connected to our community, and that connection only gonna come from us. We got to teach us, and my philosophy wasn't each one teach one. My philosophy was each one teach 9, because you need 9 people to play a baseball game.
My coach said he'd rather take 7 serious players on a team than 9 clowns.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
It's a team sport.
One of the main reasons I switched that to each one teach 9, because when I was in college, the ratio of males to females was always either 9-to-1 or greater. So it's all about, we got to do more than
What young black man don't want to go to college?
They don't know, man. They don't know.
Have you lost your Damn, mine, son.
Don't want to go, but want to stay. Don't go there temporarily like it's a vacation. Go there and get that degree and graduate. My brother.
Have you lost my special thank you to Larry Gaines? He blessed us tremendously. We got to put a shout out to, we lost some icons, George Russell,
wow.
attorney.
Yes.
We also lost Reverend Willie Ray.
Yes.
Reverend Willie Ray is the only man that come up to you while you slow dancing at a club and hand you a flyer. And you got your hand around the girl's waist, and Reverend Ray will give you a flyer. You like, you are messing up my rhythm, Reverend Willie Ray.
Yeah,
he would come back to Lamel. Him and Travis Winkie would come back to Lamel talking about the give back. Hey, Doug, let me just give you a chance. How many hours do coaches give of their life?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I know I coach not just baseball. I coach basketball, football, baseball. I mean, so you practicing at least 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. You got a game on a Saturday. That's another 2 hours. You might as well say 3 hours because you got to get there. You got to get home. You got to prep. So we're talking 12 hours, 12 to 15 hours a week. A season may be 12 weeks, 16 weeks. And if you go from season to season on 3 sports, you're giving up a serious time of your life, man. And parents don't look at that. You know, I stopped coaching.
My favorite part was the cold sodas in the ice chest after the game.
Oh, yeah, that knee-high grape hit the spot every time, boy. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but coaches, man, people don't realize the impact a coach can have. I know I'm proud. I help coach some young men today that got sons that are actually playing. I can sit back and say, well, hey, I contributed to that brother's success.
I got to add this in. When we won the World Series, it was the first time I had ever been to McDonald's.
What?
I was about 11 years old. My dad had always taken me to Geno's.
Oh, yeah, I remember Geno's. Yeah, no doubt.
You don't know nothing about Geno's.
Come on, baby. We had Geno's down the street from where I grew up on Liberty Road and Essex Road.
Take me to McDonald's, and considering what they make them burgers out of, and consider how my mom made hamburgers.
Oh, that was different, man.
It was day and night.
Come on, your mom made them Eddie Murphy burgers.
Real burgers.
Real burgers that had a thickness to them.
Yeah.
you was eating quarter pounders at home.
With love in it.
That's right. She patted that love in that burger.
Yeah.
with them onions and green peppers. throw a little bit of steak sauce on there.
Hey, Doug, there's no way I'm gonna let you off here. We got a couple things to cover.
What we gonna talk about?
You were there. Special thank you to Doug Jones at the Pleasant Yacht Club.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Speaking of which, today is LaFawn Porter's birthday. The lawyer that was representing him
owes me a report. So happy birthday. Send me my damn report, LaFawn Porter.
I'll say something to him. I'm gonna send you an invitation to his birthday party, Donnie. You should show up.
I'm gonna be asking for my report.
Hey, well, he'll give it to you.
And y'all belong to what fraternity?
Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, the best fraternity in the world, where our motto is culture for service, service for humanity.
Now, did you know that Black started in East Baltimore versus West Baltimore?
Oh yeah, I did know that.
And
I know the history of Baltimore, man. Come on, man.
With that, did you know that Baltimore was the home, or certainly a home, of the National Black Labor Union movement?
Yep, I knew
Isaac Myers was a ship caulker down there on the waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
And that led on to a National Labor Union movement, championed later by A. Philip Randolph, who I believe was a Sigma.
Yes, he was. A. Philip Randolph was one of our founders.
So while we were out there covering Pleasant Yacht Club, the Black Yacht Club that Trade Point Atlantic wants to get rid of out there in Sparrows Point.
Edgewood, yeah, man.
We have a long history out there. And yes, blacks do live on the east side of Baltimore County.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. I lived on the east side of Baltimore County. When we first relocated here from Cincinnati, my father was stationed at Fort Holabird. What you know about that? We lived in Dundalk. My father didn't know
I
no
ain't
better.
live in Dundalk. I know I ain't like
We
the
lived,
smell over there.
we lived in Dundalk. I went to Charles Mont Elementary School off of Wise Avenue. And the only reason we lived over there, he was from Baltimore. We weren't from Baltimore, but that was closest proximity to where he had to go to work at Fort Holabird. We lived there for maybe about 18 months. And I played baseball there. I was from Cincinnati. Baseball was in my heart. I was playing shortstop in Dundalk in the early 70s. Now, you know I had to be able to be playing with them white boys, and they had me playing shortstop. And I was the new kid on the block. Because typically the only kid play shortstop is the coach's son or one of the assistant coach's son. They ain't know me from Adam. But I had a little baseball game. I ain't started playing basketball until we moved to the west side. But anyway, Dundalk was an experience, man. I'm gonna let you know. You know, I grew up. I had a few of them. I had a big afro back in the day too. Come on, man. They used to call me Link. Remember the Mod Squad that came out?
I think they would call you something like Radio Raheem.
Nah, they used to call me Link because I used to comb out my afro. And I remember, speaking of baseball, see, this is how far back we go, Don. The Orioles was playing the Cincinnati Reds, just like I said earlier. And back then, baseball wasn't shown at night. There was games during the day. And they rolled a TV. You know how schools had them big TV on them TV cards. They rolled a TV in the classroom so everybody could watch the Orioles and the Reds in the World Series. I'm the only kid in the whole school voting for the Cincinnati Reds.
You lucky you didn't get beat up.
Nah, well, you know that wasn't gonna happen. I had a couple brothers too, but
y'all were outnumbered, son. You were outnumbered.
We were definitely outnumbered. We were definitely outnumbered. I just to see being in the military, man, and being an Army brat, we moved all around, so I knew how to navigate those waters.
You ain't seen nothing like Baltimore. Baltimore's the home of segregation.
Yeah, you know, I did till we got here.
Army and all of its beneficiaries something to fight for. Anything else we got to plug, Dak?
Man, I'm trying to think what's going on, Donnie. What about that wonderful event we went to? Who's Who in Black Baltimore? That was awesome, man. You did a great job down there, Don.
It's a team effort.
That was awesome.
Big ups to Rodney Griffin for setting it all up.
Yeah,
got some great interviews down there. I love to see us looking good, acting good, achieving good.
And Carter Womack, one of my fraternity brothers, is a part of that organization. I think he's a chief operating officer. I just wish they could have recognized a lot more people than they had the time to. I understand why they couldn't speak on and announce everybody's name, you know, because it's a time constraint when you're dealing with those type of events. But the book itself, I know you got the book, right?
I actually do not have a copy of the book.
What? Oh my God, that book is a history lesson, man.
I was busy. I'm in the book.
Man, you ain't get a copy of that?
History.
You got to get a copy of that, Donnie. That's a history lesson in that book. Yeah. Wow.
But there's always be more news because I saw a lot of them honorees were Black Wall Street honorees from the past.
That's right. That's right. Look, you can go through that book and create you a whole new lineup of people to interview. That book was off the chain. It really was. It was very well done. Nice event. I'm glad I had an opportunity to be a part of it. So what's coming up, man?
Doug Burnett, we getting ready to get out of here. We want to wish you a top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Always a pleasure, my brother.
Yes, sir. You flashing them gang signs. I don't want no trouble.
Nah, man, ain't no gang sign. Let's go, mob, babe. Go make another brother. Blue fire!
Good morning, world.
Good morning.